Down, 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 down. I bet you didn't know that life would be this way. Stuck inside and can't go out all day. 'Cause we got a stay-at-home order. So you just gotta find Postmates and order. Da-da. I won't be there for you. 'Cause I can't go anywhere. Bars. Didn't even know what song I was gonna sing until the song just left my mouth like a songbird, like the muse just comes down and takes over. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to Monday. Welcome to Monday, ladies and gentlemen. A glorious day. You get to start over. You get to leave that piece of shit you were over the weekend in the weekend. You get another shot at life. Because guess what? People don't start changing their life on Wednesdays. By Wednesday, you're already like, nah, fuck this shit. I'll do it Monday. Everybody's waiting till Monday. Unless you work a 9 to 5, 5 days a week, and then you're like, I'll start this new project Saturday. Sometimes that's what you got to do, baby. When you try and get something off the ground, you just got to put in that work. Put in that work. Fun story. To get my first microphone, I worked construction. I worked construction to get my first MIDI keyboard, making beats and shit. You just got to do what you got to do, all right? But it all works out. It all works out when you hustle, when you grind, as the kids say. I feel like that's actually a really cool thing to say. When you're grinding, you're on the grind. But it just got ruined by fake entrepreneurs, the trust fund babies on Instagram that like pretend they're about that mogul life, you know? I hate that one dude who just walks through his garage pointing at all his books that he's probably never, like the spine isn't even cracked on him. It's like, knowledge is power. Anyway, let me just show you, these are my cars. Well, and he's like walking through his house showing you everything. I don't even remember his name. But that dude does nothing. There's so many of that. And I hate that all those people coined the term, the grind, you know? You just gotta stay on the grind. Hashtag no sleep ever. Hashtag I wake up at 2 a.m. I go to bed at 2:30 a.m. Huh? What? That's the thing about those Instagram moguls. It doesn't even make sense what they do with their life. It's just, I went to bed at midnight and I woke up at 11 p.m., to start my day. I haven't slept in 9 days and I've been hallucinating. I've been seeing people, but I'm out working all of them. I've been hallucinating. This dude, Jim, lives on my street. He's always looking through the window, but I'm out grinding Jim. It's like you have some serious mental illness now. Paranoia, schizophrenia, sleep deprivation is a serious issue. You need to rest, okay? Your mogulness is going to be there when you wake up. That's how I feel. You got to recharge the batteries, okay? That's how I've always felt. Dude, as I get older, take a drink if you're playing the game. Take a drink every time Evan says something cliche like as I get older on the podcast. I realize how important rest is. Listen, if you're early 20s, listen to this. I see the demographics. I know what I'm working with here. We got some 18 to 25-year-olds listening. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Still out there. Busting nuts out in the free world. Just running wild. Good for you. Enjoy those years, young buckaroos. Get wild. Wear a condom. Okay, at the end of the day, wear a condom. That goes for you ladies too. Put one foot through a Ziploc gallon bag and the other foot through it and just pull it up. This is condoms. They're important, okay? Anything you can do to control that birth early, all right? Because that's what you don't need that hiccup in your life. But when I was younger, that's such a weird segment. When I was younger, I would just work to the point where your boy was always stressed out. Would literally have like physical signs of stress. Like where I remember once even I started having this issue where I couldn't unclench my hand. That's how fucking grinding I was. Where I was just always stressed out, always working, not getting enough sleep. Hashtag grinding. worrying about so much that was out of my control and trying to do this and trying to do that. And it wasn't until I got a little bit older, and I'm trying to balance out. And this is why I've experimented with like heart rate monitors, the HRV, the heart rate variability, stuff like that, is trying to find a balance, a way to objectively, not too smart sometimes, objectively tell myself to rest. I'm trying to be someone who is a creative. I try to be as objective as I can with myself, because I need to put a fail-safe in order for me not to allow my subjective, creative brain to always lean towards the subjective. Because that's like what a lot of creativity is like you're kind of you're always making up things. You're always imagining and using your imagination and wonder. So it's like, if I'm laying there in bed and I'm like, I really need to rest, but there's a little bit of that where it's like, you should fucking work out today to show yourself that you're going to push through this shit. You're just tired. You have to push through it. I need something objectively like a heart rate monitor that I've been like doing HRV. Let me back up a little bit. HRV is a heart rate variability. And what that is the variability in your heart rhythm showing you if your heart is working harder than normal to do everyday functions, basic functions. And if your heart is under a little bit more stress, it's not a dangerous thing. It just means that, the system's having to work a little harder to just chill. It means that your body needs to recover, kind of rest. It's kind of overstressed. So on those days when your HRV is too much, you're too high, you got to rest. You got to pull, you got to pump the brakes. And here's what I've learned when I've really gotten into this is you actually have better workouts and you go further when you take those rest days. When you're more balanced and you kind of take some time off and then come back. I like to say, with video production, music, comedy, everything, whenever I hit a roadblock or whenever somebody is, they've hit a roadblock, if I'm talking to friends about bits or ideas or things they're working on, I say, take the night off. Get a fresh set of peepers on it in the morning. You get your peepers right on that in the morning, you're going to have a better idea with the direction and what you're trying to do. It's just my 2 cents, baby. Just my 2 cents. And it's always worked out for me well. And a lot of times, you get almost tunnel vision when you're going too much and you're just grinding, hashtag grinding. And you don't look up and you don't rest. But it's the same thing as like, I'm trying to find the most basic analogy. It's like you're sprinting, you gotta go a mile. You sprint that first mile as hard as you can, hurt your leg, and then you gotta limp the rest of the mile. Is different than if you just paced it, maybe at the halfway mile mark, you stopped for a second, caught your breath, had a drink of water, and then pushed it, in the last half of the mile. You would actually go farther and achieve more than if you just took off a sprint, hashtag grinding, I always would use the analogy with fighting growing up, is that like tough fighters don't last, but smart fighters do. And it's whenever you can't get get out of your own way of the ego of like, I need to train hard, I need to push through, blah. Like even the dudes at like jiu-jitsu that like their ego is so much that they just want to get this tap, they want to do that, they want to keep going, they don't want to pull back. They always get injured. Those dudes always get injured and they end up not going as far with their career because they didn't just pump the brakes. And that applies to everything. I don't want to single out jiu-jitsu because I've seen it with boxing, seen it with output of videos and creativity and business. It's always the people that are like, they get intoxicated by the mogul life that they like fall off later in life. You just gotta be the little engine that could. Just chicka 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 choo choo. Just no matter what, your train's gotta come into town, baby. I'm gonna work on that metaphor. Just gotta be that little engine that could. You always show up on time. I don't know any train metaphors, or else I would hit you with one right now. Something about the conductor and the whistle. I don't even know if it's a port. The station, when you pull into that station, choo choo. Somebody figure that out. I'm sure there's already some kind of quote about the train and consistency. Compound interest. That's a very good book. If you're looking for a good book on understanding the power of habits and like compound interest, that's a good. The Compound Effect is the name of that book. Highly recommend it. But yeah, rest is important, and that's what your boy did. Okay, I think I mentioned on the last episode that I was going on a little trip, went up north. What's crazy, man, is my girl and I, we showed up to, I wanted to do an Airbnb, and I wonder if I should tell you this first or after. So we get to Bass Lake. Here's the thing: is I about a week ago, they started doing the stay-at-home order, and I contact this Airbnb, this beautiful Airbnb. Listen, your boy has been #grinding, okay, throughout the whole pandy, working every day, doing a lot from home, and I needed a vacation. I was hitting that point where I was just exhausted and I was running out of ideas and things to do. And I was like, man, I just need to get away. And I had plans as well. And Bass Lake, if you've never been there, man, it's a great little spot. It's a hidden gem, especially in the winter. It's about 15 minutes away from the gates of Yosemite, and great trout fishing. You can rent boats. My secret honey spot, little honey hole. My girl out fishes me every time we go. Right off the dock by the boat rental. There's a little spot, a little dock. You just got to go to the boat rental place if you're going to Bass Lake. I hope that this is why I'm only saying this now while this podcast is smaller. Go on the dock, fish off to the left side by the boat rental. You'll be good. You'll be right as rain, just pulling them in. We caught like 6 fish within like 30 minutes. It was insane. I couldn't get the bait on the pole fast enough. But going back, I love this spot because, we spent a day in Yosemite, spent a couple days at the lake, easy peasy. Your boy got that spa suite overlooking the lake. Fancy. Your boy's fancy at the end of the day, okay? But I wasn't going there with the intentions of getting this spa suite lakeside view, okay? Because your boy's thrifty, okay? It ain't about how much money you have or you make. It's about how much money you're spending, whatever your monthly nut is. I like to keep things thin, okay? So I don't have to work for the man. I can keep that overhead low, okay? You don't got to do bullshit. That's how you get out of the 9-to-5 game, is you get your costs, your monthly nut low. And then you don't have to do as much bullshit just to support it. You don't need that car payment. You don't need that car payment. My car is paid off, okay? Because I didn't want a car payment. Okay, it's just not worth it. The extra $400, $500 a month, I don't care how much money you're making. You're going to have to work a shitty job to be able to pay for that, okay? Unless you've already established yourself outside of the realm. But if you're just getting started, you're getting your fresh peepers on this mogul life, #the grind. You don't need that cost, all right? You don't need that fancy shit. You don't need that crazy new phone, okay? Get your monthly nut down. That's how you're going to start giving yourself that financial freedom. It ain't about how much money you make. It's about how much money you spend or something like that. I started thinking about that Rocky quote. It was like, it ain't about how hard you can hit, how hard you can get hit. It ain't about how hard your credit card can hit. It's about how hard your credit card can get hit and keep moving forward with paying off at the end of the month so you don't have any interest. Stay debt free, baby. Fucking I don't even know that mogul guy's name on YouTube who helps people pay off all their shit. David or something like that. He's an old guy, wears like a telecom headset, gives financial advice. Is it Jim Rohn? I gotta Google it. Jim Rohn. No. Jim Rohn is like No, he's like a mogul guy. Financial freedom YouTube guy. What is his name? It's going to drive me fucking crazy. Pay off your house. YouTube. What is his name? Oh, I found him. Okay. Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey. And listen, Dave Ramsey is real. Dave Ramsey is real. I really like him, actually. I've watched a fuck ton of his videos on how to pay off, just make smart financial decisions, There's nothing sexy about being financially thrifty. But it helps you so much just getting out of that bullshit. And he's very good. So if you've never seen Dave Ramsey on YouTube and you're interested in being financially good, who wouldn't be? You should check it out. Cuts through all the bullshit and kind of gives you a plan to action. So that's it for you. Shout out to Dave Ramsey. So your boy being thrifty, I wanted to book an Airbnb. And I go through, I compare all these different prices. I knew there was a resort right on the lake and everything, but I wanted to get, kind of isolated a bit. And so I booked this Airbnb right on the water. Pretty affordable for what it should have been. And get there at night. We spent the day in like Sequoia National Forest. And keep in mind, I was in Sequoia National Forest looking at the giant trees, the giant forest there. Beautiful. There was like 3 other people there. So like, it was completely isolated. People were wearing their mask. The 3 or 4 people we actually saw on the trail wearing their mask while they're out. And I was like, look, you give people freedom, and a lot of people are going to make the right decision. Now, when I was driving through Bakersfield, that's a whole different fucking story. Going to a gas station, no one wearing masks, the manager's not wearing masks, and I'm just like, this is why this is still happening. But I show up to this Airbnb at night since we spent the day in Sequoia, and I'm very excited to see the dock because I opened on Airbnb with, hey, I saw your cottage. It looks beautiful. Is it possible? Can I fish off of your dock? Because certain people, it's their home. They're like, nah, please stay off the dock, whatever. But it also said in there, you'll have access to our private dock. Fuck yeah. So excited. And then the person writes by, yeah, of course. Thanks for reaching out. You can definitely fish off the dock. Awesome. Cottage, whatever. It was very cold on the bottom floor, very hot on the top floor where he slept. Very weird. Didn't get a good night's sleep, but fuck it. I adapt, overcome. I keep it moving, pimping. And we wake up in the morning. I crawled down. It's like a weird Indian in the cupboard style cottage. Very weird, very steep stairs. I almost broke my neck and foot. And I wake up, go down there. It's like 30 degrees downstairs, 80 upstairs. Very weird, the heater. Anyway, also the heater, the furnace moaned the entire night. When it would turn on, it'd go, sound like the ghost of an orca was living downstairs. Just very odd. Anyway, I look out the window. I see the dock, but I don't see any water. And I'm like, well, this is interesting. I see the dock, but there's no water around it. So I make my way out to the dock, and I'm like, well, I need to figure out this. And I look, there is literally no water around the dock. The dock is about 40 yards away from the tip of the water. And to get to it is a bunch of mud and sludge. And the dock is literally, and if it wasn't someone's house, I would post these pictures in the podcast. The dock is literally, like I take a picture from the same exact position as the picture from the ad, and it's literally 40 feet lower. There's no water, and in the picture, it's like you just walk onto the dock and you're surrounded by water. Like it was just like the dock went out like 30 yards into the water, so it'd be like a good fishing spot. And I'm just so confused, and I'm like, this is so weird. Call the host a couple times. I think she lived in the main house. She doesn't pick up. And then I see her from the window scurry off to her car and leave. Like she jumps in and bolts out. And I'm like, well, that's odd. You clearly saw my calls, and I don't know how you knew I was like angry about this. So then I call Airbnb and had to go half Karen on them, just sending the pictures. And I wouldn't have been upset if you didn't tell me that this dock was in the water. If you just told me there was no water, I'd been fine. And then, I would have stayed somewhere else because, your boy likes to fish. But here's the other big surprise. Your boy was planning on getting engaged on the dock. That's why I picked that spot, because your boy's making life changes, okay? Your boy's making life changes. And I saw the dock, and I said, this is going to be perfect. I'm going to wait till sunset, be all romantic, have my camera set up so I can just record us fishing, fishing for that love, And it threw this big wrench into it, and I was like, well, I can't do it here, so something needs to change. And I just spent a fuck ton of money on this place for the weekend. And by fuck ton, I just mean that 3 nights at this place. So then I get it worked out with Airbnb. They refund me for the nights I didn't stay. Bam, call the resort. Spa suite, lake view, bars. We're back in this, ladies and gentlemen. It's a funny story. And normally, and I'm a very private person on social media. But y'all that listen to the podcast, y'all ain't social media. Y'all my family, all right? Y'all spent some 7 minutes in heaven, okay? And it was funny because we get to, the spa, the suite is amazing. We end up getting there. And it wasn't that much more than the Airbnb. And it was just so much better, so much more inviting. There's a jacuzzi. And just 10 out of 10. And we get there. We're so exhausted from the night before. We end up taking a nap. And then, got to get ready for fishing. So we go out on the dock, and I keep my peepers on the dock from the window, okay? And I'm like, listen, looking at it, I'm like, there hasn't been a soul out there all day. This is going to be great. It's the dock that we would always fish for or from when we would come stay here before, and it was just it was going to be a good time, and I was excited to be isolated. I was going to put my camera out and just record us fishing to capture the moment and everything. And it's funny, as we are getting to the dock, I go to move the car back to the parking lot. This old dude is coming out to come fish off the dock. And I'm like, no one has been here the entire day. It's almost sunset. Now this dude's like, I'm going to go fish. Not only that, it's probably like actually 2:30. Sunset's at like 4:30. We get out there, and it's really funny. This dude talks to me nonstop for 2 hours straight. We basically did a full podcast about life, and he just would not stop talking. Granted, this man was retired, and normally, under any other situation, your boy would be like, loving this. I love having conversations with strangers, and I love giving older generations the opportunity to talk. I love just hearing about their life story, picking little gems out, little life advice that, they're just throwing out there. And it's good to let people talk about their life. It helps them in a lot of ways. But not today. Not today. We got other plans, okay? To the point where I literally am asking this guy, hey, so what time do you normally head out of here? Because he's telling me he does this, fishes here like a few times a week. He drives like 45 minutes, fishes, and heads back. Oh, right after sunset. Okay, cool. I lost sunset. But okay, fine. Adapt, overcome. Good. I'm ready. And then it's funny. Sunset is coming around, and we have a ton of fish. My girl's a silent assassin. She's very deceptive, and you don't think she's going to be good at fishing. But she just got this honey hole, this little spot that she knows that she just catches them one after the other. So we have like 6 fish on our stringer. This old man has none. And I'm just trying to get him out of there because I'm losing the sun. It's already gone. I don't want to do this at night. And he won't leave. And then finally he's starting to pack up, and he's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I'm hoping to get him out of there because he's like, man, it sucks that I ain't catching fish, and and then I just go, hey man, because I'm in a hotel. I don't want to clean all the fish and in the hotel and everything. And I go, plus we're staying another night. I wasn't prepared. And I go, hey man, you want these fish? Like thinking it's just like, go fetch. And he goes, oh really? Yeah, man, I'll take them. And then he goes, you know what? I'll just clean them right here. And I'm just like, fuck, that's going to be at least another 30, 45 minutes. So I literally am handing him the fish, and I go, you know what? Not to be an Indian giver, but I'm going to keep them. Sorry. I literally said that to him, and he just is like, okay. And I just turn around. My girl's like, that was weird. You just took the fish back from him. And I'm like, sorry. And then he won't leave still. He's still just there. I'm losing all the sunlight. And he just, he's literally talking about everything. He just goes, hey, what do you think about my cart? Like he had a cart that all his stuff was on. And I go, probably be cooler if it wasn't here. Huh? What? Oh, that's very nice, sir. Cool. And then finally, he finally leaves, and your boy makes it happen, you know. That's all the details you get, but very happy, and new stage and chapter of life, and we're just keeping it moving forward, baby, you know. We're very happy, and yeah, it went well. Overall, great weekend, and more importantly, I don't know if it's more importantly, actually, that'd be a weird flex, a good trip, you know. Got to reset a bit, you know. It feels good. It feels good trying to go into Texas and a new chapter of the life. And you know, all is well. All is well in the Lopez household. And you know, it sucked because of that Airbnb. Everything worked out great, but that Airbnb, man, false advertising, you know, to show up to a place that you think you're gonna have this beautiful dock on the water, and then you have a dock on the dirt. And to her credit, she never said I could catch fish. She just said I could fish off the dock. She didn't say it was going to be successful, because technically, you could fish anywhere, you know? You could fish anywhere. So I will give her credit for that. I'm not angry. I've moved on, lady, okay? I felt bad that she felt the need to scurry off. Like, I could tell she was, I don't know if she was just afraid of confrontation or something, but I could just tell she kind of scurried off on her weaselly little way. She took off like Fast and Furious and was just gone, you know? But, yeah, all is good. All is good. It was a great weekend. It was very exciting, you know, big for my family. And your boy's always been a wild horse, you know, always a lot of, you know, feelings of not wanting to be trapped and not wanting to be tied down. Wild horse. You put some oats in the pen, I'll come in for a nibble every now and then. You ever try to shut that gate, I'll hop the fence, you'll never see me again. You know, that was my lifestyle. That was my life quote, you know. I would tell girls that too. And guess what? They tried to shut that gate, I hopped the fence. They never saw me again, you know. I'm a wild one. And lucky for me, I met someone who, it wasn't always perfect. And there was a lot of times where I wouldn't commit completely and was really, I didn't want to be in a relationship because I was always focused on my career and like what I'm trying to do. And lucky for me, very lucky for me, that she always gave me space and gave me time and let me kind of figure my life out and what I was trying to do, and always just only added support to my life. I'm very lucky with the person I'm with. And I hope you guys all find that too. And it's not perfect. I don't want this to sound like a hallmark. But I'm very lucky in the sense of someone who compliments me well and allows me to be, you know, 7 minutes in heaven. You know, I'm a wacky dude. I'm a very hard person to be with in the sense of like all the stuff I do. And, you know, it's not a normal life to be a comedian and filmmaking and podcasting and whatever the fuck else I do with my life. It's not easy. It takes a special person, you know, and I know that through trial and error of having relationships in the past that just went completely bad for either me doing something wrong or, you know, the person I was with not meant to be with a person like me. You know, you go through these relationships and things in life that kind of set you up to appreciate the person you end up with, or, you know, don't end up with, and all that kind of thing. You know, there's someone out there for everyone. Sometimes you're a fucking piece of shit and you don't deserve anyone, but that's life. But yeah, guys, it's been a great weekend. I'm very happy to be back. 99 episodes, but a bitch ain't one. Hit me. Oh, why didn't we start the fucking episode with that song? I got 99 episodes, but a bitch ain't one. Hit me. That's not even the riff from 99 Problems, but it works. Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a special 100th episode. Please tune in, watch it, download it, give it a review, whatever. It's a big moment. I like round numbers. I'm a very festive person. So when I hit something like 100, it's very exciting, and we're going to try to do something special for that episode. So please tune in, tell a friend, tell your mama, that your boy's off the market. Stop calling me. Get out of my DMs, you know. Very excited, and honestly, it's a milestone, and it's great because I started the podcast, I believe, last December, so we're coming up on a year as well, and it's cool for me sometimes. I have my old journals where I'll go back and read things I was saying a year ago, you know, and there's certain things where I was talking about how I need to do a podcast months, you know, even a year before I ever started one. And it was like I hated, and I would get angry at myself. And this is the great thing about a journal that can track things that you're doing is it makes you get out of your own bullshit. You can't fake it. If you're writing it down all the time and you're kind of seeing these patterns, you're like, I've been talking about doing this since then. Why haven't I done it? And it stops giving yourself a way out. So it's cool to see that in my journals, and then now be at, you know, closing in on the 100th episode, and it's very exciting. And I mean, I felt like I learned a lot this year through podcasting, and I'm excited for it to keep growing. And I'm excited for every single one of you that's listened, reached out, said the podcast helped you, or even just made you laugh. It means so much to me, and I'm excited to keep going with it. So thank you, everybody, and no matter what, I love you, and I'll see you Wednesday.